All right, good morning, everyone. And today is my third day of streaming. Happy Friday. Apparently, so I got access to Kiro. I got an email saying that my I've after joining the waitlist, I finally got access. Okay, I haven't used this before. I've only heard a few things about it. I mean, good and bad, saying that it's like very opinionated. I guess that's the word for it, because I'm still not quite sure how this is going to beat out something like a cursor or windsurf, considering considering that this is like this was released pretty late. It was just released this year. I mean, it's not even fully released yet. It's still in preview. So I'm curious how good this actually is. I have it installed, so I can actually bring it up. Let me see. This Kiro. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use this to do some work today. Oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Another VS Code fork. Don't we already have enough VS Code forks? I feel like we do, but maybe I'm just wrong. I'm still warming up to this stream. It's so difficult to continuously talk all the time. Okay. Let's see. You know what? The best thing is for me is just to start with documentation. Okay, strap in with autopilot mode. Let Kiro autonomously run large tasks on its own without needing step-by-step instruction. You stay in control, especially when running scripts or command. Your code, your rules. Configure how you want Kiro to interact with each project via steering files. Why would you call it steering files? It's just rules. Add context. Coding standards, preferred workflows, tools, and a simple command. I don't know if you're like me, but are you getting sick of these like differently named steering or rules file? Like Claude Code has Claude.md file, and then Cursor has its own Cursor one. Windsurf has its own .windsurf. There is so many different ones. Like if you are using multiple IDE, I guess most people aren't really using multiple IDE. It's just, this is getting a lot. For someone like me who tries out multiple IDE and to figure out which tool is the best, like it gets a lot. It really does get a lot. Like in here, I have in my Claude Maestro base, I have .claude here. And I also have like .mcp, I have Claude MD. There is so many things. Not that I'm complaining. I mean, all this is great, but at the same time, it's a lot. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, get started with fast and quick guide. Yeah. Okay, common question. What is spec-driven development? How is it different from vibe coding? Is this tool for vibe coders, or is it for like actual engineers? Developing with specs keeps the fun of vibe coding but fixes some of the limitation. Vibe coding can require too much guidance on complex tasks or when building on top of large code bases, and it can misinterpret context when implementing a task with vibe coding. Wait, what? It's difficult to keep track of all the decisions that were made along the way and document them for your team. By using specs, Kiro works alongside you to define requirements, system design. Isn't this just plan? This is just literally the same as using the plan mode, isn't it? In Claude Code. This approach explicitly documents the reasoning and implementation decisions. So Kiro can implement more complex tasks in fewer shots. Okay. How can I get started with Kiro? Yeah. What programming language? Okay, what program? Okay, this looks all good. I just want to look at the docs now. Getting started. Kiro, yeah, preview. Kiro is agentic IDE that helps you do your best work with features such as spec, steering, and hooks. Everything you need to begin your journey. Core capabilities, spec, hooks, agentic chat, steering, MCP server, privacy first. Yeah, okay, let's just take a look at specs here. Oops. What are specs? Specs or specifications are structured artifacts that formalize the development process for complex features in your application. They provide a systematic approach to transform high-level ideas into detailed implementation plans with clear tracking and accountability. So specs are plans. Yeah. Okay, quick start, ready to create your first specification. Here's how you get started. From Kiro pane, click the plus button under specs, okay, yeah. Describe your project idea, follow the phase from requirements, design, implementation. Wow, this is very explicit and very specific. Concept, best practices. Okay, let's see. Let's see the concepts. Spec bridge the gap between conceptual product requirements and technical implementation details, ensuring alignment and reducing development iteration. Kiro generates 3 key files that forms the foundation of each specification. Requirements.md captures user stories and acceptance criteria in structured years notation. Design.md documents technical architecture, sequence diagrams, and implementation consideration. Task.md provides a detailed implementation plan with discrete trackable tasks. Man, this is so, okay. Idea for feature through spec, open spec in chat, click plus spec chain, gets the spec, requirements, okay. Workflow, the workflow follows a logical progression with decision points between phases, ensuring each step is properly completed before moving to the next requirement phase, design phase, implementation phase, and execution phase. I see. Edit request change. Happy, yes. Design.md makes sense. Requirements file is written. So the requirements file in the form of user stories with this, okay. Yeah, okay. Very interesting. The structured approach offers several benefits: clarity, testability, traceability, completeness. Design. The design.md file is where you document the technical architecture, sequence diagrams, and oh wow, it actually creates diagrams for you. Nice. Okay. It's a great place to capture the big picture of how system will work, including the components and their interactions. Kiro spec offers a structured approach to design documentation, making it easier to understand and collaborate with complex systems. The design.md file is a great place to capture the big picture of how system will work, including the components, okay, blah, blah, implementation plan. So this is the final step. The task.md file is where you provide a detailed implementation plan with discrete trackable tasks and subtasks. Each task is clearly defined with a clear description, expected outcomes, and any necessary resources and dependencies. Kiro spec offers a structured approach to implementation plans, making it easier to understand and collaborate on complex systems. Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. right. If that's that, then I guess it's not that crazy. This editor, keyboard shortcut, code indexing. Code-based indexing automatically indexes your code-based documentation to provide intelligent code suggestions, navigation, context-aware assistance. Does it not have tab completion? Vibe versus spec. Okay. What is a vibe session? Vibe sessions are interactive QA focused session in Kiro that are designed for quick questions, explanation, and building projects through a more conversational approach. How to access? You can, yes, when to vibe interact. Vibe sessions are optimized for back and forth conversation about code, allowing you to ask questions and get immediate responses. Quick assistance. They are ideal for getting quick answers to code questions, explanation of code behavior, and understanding concepts without going through a formal specification process. Contextual understanding. Like other Kiro sessions, Vibe sessions leverage context providers to understand your code base, but with a focus on explanation rather than extensive code generation. Flexible approach. Vibe sessions offer a more fluid, less structured approach compared to spec session. Okay, that didn't explain to me at all when to use Vibe. So is it just like chat? Why would you call it Vibe if it's just chat? Chat first and build, explore ideas, iterate, discovery. Okay, I'm just going to not care and start building stuff with... Is this 4.1 or Claude Sonnet just 4? Wait, they don't even have Opus? What's the pricing like, I wonder? Pricing. Well, certainly not going to be paying $200. Is this like dead? Are people still using Kiro? I feel like I haven't heard much news on this lately. Blog, August 28. Use Kiro for free until September 15th. Following pricing update on August 22nd, we are extending free Kiro usage beyond September 1st until September 15th. This means you can continue to use Kiro for free until September 15th. We'll refund full amount for your September charge. So you can continue using Kiro for free. Your usage limit will reset on September 1st to the full limits of your plan as part of your regular subscription cycle. We have been listening to your feedback. It has been very valuable to inform how we can evolve Kiro's pricing model. Based on your input, we'll be announcing updated pricing in the coming weeks and intend to roll out new pricing after September 15th. Before we roll out new pricing changes, we will notify you of our... Okay. I mean, it's free right now, so might as well use it. But at the same time, why does it only have Claude Sonnet? Why does this only have Claude Sonnet 4? No Opus? Really? Kiro will make changes on your behalf. Okay, what's this? Add context? Okay. Right. This is interesting and also kind of eh. I need to update my layout. This is a little too much. I think I should move this here. No, you know what? I will move this at the top because it seems like that. This is probably gonna look, this is probably better, I think. Okay. Let me just check what task I'm going to be working on today. Okay. Looking good. This is always annoying. Okay, yeah. Vibe spec. Thinking through features in-depth project. Configure terminal setting. Okay, let's try spec. Great for thinking through features in depth, project needing upfront planning, building features in a structured way. Right, okay. Ability to relaunch killed tasks. Make sure to ultra think about all edge cases. So, as well as how to restart tasks that were killed during plan phase and code phase. Okay. Let's see what it's going to do. Kiro Generative AI. You may need to verify responses, code, and artifacts Kiro generates. See, okay, yeah, whatever. That's fine. I'll help you create a spec for the ability to relaunch killed tasks. This is a complex feature that needs to handle various edge cases and different phase when tasks can be killed. Let me start by creating requirements documentation for this feature. Okay, follow? Oh, I can. Oh, wow, that's really quick introduction. These features enable users to relaunch tasks that have been killed or terminated, providing a robust recovery mechanism for interrupted workflows. The system must handle killed tasks during different phases, planning, coding, and preserve relevant context while ensuring clean state management. Right, as a developer, I want to relaunch a killed task from task management interface so that I can recover from interruptions without losing my work progress. Interesting acceptance criteria. When a task status has a status killed, then system shall display a relaunch button or action in task card. When the user clicks the relaunch action, then the system shall create a new task instance with the same prompt and configuration. When relaunching a task, then the system shall preserve the original task prompt, branch configuration, and parallel instance setting. Wait, when relaunching a task, then the system shall preserve the original task prompt, branch configuration, and parallel instance settings. Okay, but what's number 2? When user clicks on relaunch action, then the system shall create a new task instance. So it's going to duplicate the task. Okay, when relaunching a task, then the system shall generate a new unique task ID for the relaunch instance. When relaunching a task, then the system shall generate a new unique task ID for the relaunched instance. When a task is successfully relaunched, then the system shall update original task status to indicate it has been relaunched. In the acceptance criteria, are we creating a new task when relaunching? Would it be possible to reuse the same task instead? Erasing and reusing the same task would be simpler and maintain continuity. Right. And this requirements file is created. Oh, wow. Okay. When task status killed, when a task has status killed, then the system shall display a relaunch button and or action in the task card. When the user clicks the relaunch action, then the system shall restart the same task instance with its existing configuration. Correct? When relaunching a task, then the system shall preserve the task ID, prompt, branch configuration, and parallel instance settings. Correct? When relaunching a task, then the system shall reset the task status from killed to the appropriate starting status. Wait, what? When relaunching a task, then the system shall reset the task status from killed to the appropriate starting status. Okay, correct. When a task is successfully relaunched, then the system shall update the task's timestamp to reflect relaunch. Okay. Requirements 2. User story. As a developer, I want killed tasks during the planning phase to be relaunchable with their original context so that I can continue from where planning was interrupted. Interesting. Acceptance criteria. When a task is killed during the planning phase, then the system shall preserve a partial plan data. Oh my gosh, this is actually like a lot of things I have to read through in order to get it right. When a task is killed during the planning phase, then the system shall preserve a partial plan data that was generated. Relaunching a planning phase killed task, then the system shall start fresh in the planning phase. When relaunching a planning phase killed task, then the system shall use the original prompt as the starting point, correct? When relaunching a planning phase killed task, then the system shall not carry over incomplete or corrupted plan data. If partial plan data exists, then the system shall make it available for reference but not automatically apply it. Correct. Requirement 3. As a developer, I want to kill tasks during the code phase to be able to, kill tasks during the code phase to be able to relaunch with their completed plan so that I can resume implementation without replanning. Acceptance criteria. When a task is killed during code phase, then the system shall preserve the completed plan data. Correct. When relaunching a code phase killed task, then the system shall start in the code phase with the preserved plan. Yep. The system shall not re-execute the planning phase. Correct. The system shall preserve any successful code changes that were committed. The system shall preserve any successful code changes that were committed. Sure. The system shall handle any uncommitted changes appropriately. Okay. So for coding phase acceptance criteria, relaunching code phase should clean the should revert all changes first before re-implementing the plan. Any successful code changes committed, handle any uncommitted changes. For coding phase acceptance criteria, relaunching code phase should revert all changes before re-implementing the plan. Okay, let's see if this works. I get where this is coming from, but it is also very, oh, I need to move the camera back a little bit. Okay, are we good? Yeah, we're good. All right. Coding phase killed, then the system shall reset the branch to the state it was in before the original task started coding. Revert all uncommitted changes to ensure clean starting state. Nice. As a developer, I want the system to handle edge cases during task relaunch. So the relaunch process is reliable and doesn't create inconsistent states. As a developer, I want the system to handle edge cases during task relaunch so that the relaunch process is reliable and doesn't create inconsistent state. Actually, on top of this, I wanted to double check. That work tree was created was created for, on top of this, I want to double check that the work tree was created for what? On top of this, I want to double check that that work tree was created for if user tree was created Okay, I wonder if it will understand what I'm talking about. Oh. Not my favorite way of, not my favorite way of working, but it is better. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Kiro. It's very involved. This is a very elaborate planning phase. I'm actually spending a lot of time right now reviewing the plan. It better be really good. Better be really, really good. This implementation needs to be one shot if I'm spending this much time already. I don't know. Have you guys tried Kiro or has been invited to use Kiro from? It seems like not that many people have access to Kiro, though I think they are limiting their wait list. So I don't know how many people actually got in. It's interesting. It seems like a lot of people complained about their pricing model that they announced, so they are kind of going back to the drawing board and figuring out how to price the product. Okay, when we launch a code phase, kill task, then the system shall reset the branch. Okay, work tree relaunch, kill task, then system shall verify if a work tree was created for the original task. Okay. Yep. This looks good. Let's check out the user story for requirement 4. I want the system to handle edge cases during relaunch, so the relaunch process is reliable and doesn't create inconsistent states. System shall verify the original branch still exists before proceeding. The system shall create a new branch or prompt the user for branch selection. The system shall check conflicting active tasks on the same branch. The system shall prevent relaunch and notify the user. If a conflicting task shouldn't conflict. The system shall invalidate that the work tree directory is available and accessible. The system shall create a new work tree or handle error gracefully. Okay. Relaunch history so that I can understand when and how many times the task has been restarted. Increment a counter for that task. Record the timestamp of each relaunch attempt. Display the number of times it has been relaunched. show the history of relaunch timestamp, provide visual indicator for tasks that has been relaunched. I want parallel tasks instances to be handled correctly during relaunch, so parallel execution context is preserved. All right, shall restart. Oh, okay. The system shall not interface with any still running parallel. Oh my gosh, this is so much. This is so much. I want the relaunch process to handle resource cleanup properly so the system resources are managed efficiently. The system shall clean up any orphan resources from killed tasks, ensure proper cleanup of temporary file and directories, lock files or resources gracefully, verify system resources availability before proceeding, log the error and continue with relaunch if possible. Okay, I want appropriate error handling during the relaunch process, so the failure are communicated clearly and don't leave the system in inconsistent state. System shall display a clear error message to the user, not modify original killed task state, clean up any partial created resources, log detailed error, allow user to retry relaunch operations. Wow. Okay. Well, that's all it is. Let's move to design. This is actually a lot. I am so shocked that this is so much. This is just a lot. This is so much. This is just so much stuff. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have to read through all this too? Jeez, what is this? Why is this so much planning? This feature enables, okay, requirement, still, but that's requirements. Design, core concept, task relaunch service, central service for managing relaunch process, handles phase specific. This cannot be good, I swear. How do I view this? I want to view this. I thought I want to view this as a diagram. It's got to be a view markdown. Oh, here it is. There we go. Okay. Relaunch task, system flow, user clicks on relaunch, validate task state, validation failed, go to task phase, failed show error message, planning phase handler, reset planning phase, clear partial plan, update relaunch history, start task execution running, coding code phase handler, check worktree exists, revert uncommitted changes, create new worktree, reset branch state, preserve plan data, relaunch, start execution running. All right. Okay, task relaunch service. this? Oof. What is this? Why do we have all this? Phase state manager? Why? Did it even look at my code? Relaunch history tracker? Exists will be extended using relaunch functionality. Data model, relaunch state tracking, worktree state management. This is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to implement this feature using Kiro, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Cloud Code to implement this feature. Oh my gosh. Error recovery testing phase, integration tests. Oh my gosh, this is insane. This is just insane, the amount of stuff required. I don't think this is better than Cloud Code. There is no way this is better than Cloud Code. Implementation plan, extend verified unified task interface with relaunch properties, add relaunch count, relaunch history, last killed phase, and is relaunching field to unified task. Update task creation. Okay, create core relaunch service infrastructure, implement task relaunch service class. Well, I just don't get why we would need this. Create phase state manager class. Implement planning phase relaunch logic. Extend task management store with relaunch functionality. Okay. You know what? Fine. Finalize task list. Wow, how many steps is this? This is a lot of steps. This is so much. This is so much. I can't believe how much this is a lot. This is a lot. Oh, it's already finished? Okay, spec summary. You can now begin executing tasks by opening task.md file. Oh, so I open this. And then I just go ahead and Oh, no, 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 no. Don't tell me. What's update task? No, 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 do not refresh plan. Okay, fine. I wish there was a button at the top that just says do all tasks. No, 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 this, oh gosh. This is the opposite of what I am looking for when using these agentic tools. This is a very hands-on approach. Not only that, it requires me to actually sit and like wait until it's finished, review what it's done, and then start the next task. I just want it to do everything here, and then I go in and, you know, review each task, that review the whole thing as one task rather than each step one at a time. It's just too much. It's too much hand holding. I don't like too much hand holding. I don't mind the agent just do the whole thing by itself and then I come back and check the code. I just don't want to check one file at a time. And then having to manually click start task on the next one, click start task on the next one, so yeah, Kiro is not for me. I don't like this. I just don't like, I personally just don't like this way of working. OpenAI Codex was so much better. Cloud Code is on another level compared to this. This is like I am micromanaging a junior engineer right now. No, I'd rather have them do whatever they want. Just go ahead and do it. Come back to me, and I will review the work once it's done. All of it needs to be done, not just one small thing. Oh my gosh, this is insane. I can't believe this is how it works right now. I can't believe this is how it's working literally right now. What are people saying about it? People's got to be saying stuff about it. Is there Reddit on this? Amazon Cloud powered. There's a million GUI IDE built on Cloud Code coming out. Many like Bear and the one you mentioned are spec driven. In my honest opinion, stick to open source offering. Okay. What is Bear code? Oh my gosh. Is this it? No. Bear code editor. Am I searching the wrong thing? I gotta be searching the wrong thing. What am I searching up? During the preview, this was only 2 months ago. You can get Claude.ai or Claude Code to create plan. You don't need an app for this. The real problem is Claude Code cannot execute a plan end to end. Claude Code, as it exists today, is great if you're incrementally building interactive. A spec can help you, but you can quickly deviate from the plan during this kind of implementation due to Claude Code's assumption and human nature. Okay. This is so interesting. And one enormous critique, and it's the same. It's making these absolutely enormous spec, and yeah, I agree. It does make enormous spec and a spec and design document as giant, enormous entities. It is pretty big. Like, I really don't like it. And it doesn't have any tools that provide to sonnet, to edit in a manner that makes sense at all. So it's absolutely chewing through LLMs. Plus performance has degraded so much that it takes 2 or 3 minutes to even add or delete a line on these big documents. So as for the moment, it's configured, it's complete failed. I agree. Okay, so it's not just me. I really don't like it. It's not like it's bad, but hey, didn't I just like start task here and now, wow. Wait, trust? Whoops. Oh, it didn't even notice that I'm using bun, but whatever. Yeah, this isn't looking great for Amazon. But Amazon was never known for making code editors in the first place, or in fact, just developer tools. I mean, AWS is kind of a mess. I mean, people build wrappers on top of AWS just because the UI is so bad. So I don't have much. I just don't have much confidence in this code editor. I think it's gonna get killed off. It's probably gonna get killed off. Can't beat Claude Code like this. Why would I pay $200 a month? Unless this is priced like $5 a month, then maybe. But even at $5, it's not worth my time. It's literally not worth my time. Hand holding I might as well code it myself at this point. If it's going to do this and take up this much amount of time, I can't parallel code like this. Oh my gosh, this is taking incredibly long. I don't know what it's doing. It's just getting stuck on this command. And the design dot. Are you serious? This is so messed up. You're gonna make me wait. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Kiro? What does this button do? Specs. I think the thing with these kind of tools is that you have to invest time to learn it. But if the tool isn't good, then I don't want to invest my time into learning the tool. Like Claude Code is such a worthwhile investment, while this is just not worth it. Like, maybe this is just my first impression. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm using it not the correct way, but I also think it should be flexible enough. But who knows? I don't know. I don't like having, how many lines is this? 372 lines of design document. Requirement has 106 lines and another almost 200 lines of tasks. So 200, 300, 600 lines of just planning before we get anywhere. I think that's a little crazy now. I mean, it's not crazy for 600 lines of planning if it was a bigger feature, but this is actually not that terribly complicated. And even in the design, in the requirements, it did the requirement. I like this documentation. It actually is a nice outline of pretty much all the edge cases that I can think of. But then in the design document, it really went off the tangent, creating classes and things that don't need to be there. And I'm just like, well, I'm just questioning whether Kiro actually looked at the code base and what already exists. Because if it did, then it would not have created, for example, task relaunch service class. Like, why do I need that? I don't. And a phase state manager. I don't need this at all. Like, all of this, I don't know. This is, this just confuses me even more. Is it waiting for me or command? What command are you running? You gonna fail right now? You haven't done the first task. You haven't even finished the first task. And you are already failing. Well, this is a total disappointment. This is just sad and disappointing in many ways, unfortunately. This is disappointing. I can't believe Kiro is this terrible. This is so bad. This is so bad. I had really high expectations though. Like I thought that people were hyping on this and then, I got comments saying, oh, you should check out Kiro, and now I am disillusioned, unfortunately. I really, really don't like how much planning it make me go through. This is so many lines of planning for a very simple task. 600 lines. 600, almost 700 lines of just planning for a pretty simple task, ability to relaunch task from killed task in my Claude Maestro application. Yeah. I am working, hello, thank you for joining the stream. I am working on my application, Claude Maestro. I can just show you here if I have it open. I don't have it open. What's happening? Oh, you know what? Claude Maestro. So I'm working on this application, if it will launch at some point here, Claude Maestro. So basically it's a Claude Code, I guess Claude Code wrapper, not really a Claude Code wrapper because it allows me to create multiple, it basically manages multiple instances of Claude Code. Very similar to basically an OpenAI Codex clone that runs Claude Code locally. So this is built on top of Claude Code SDK. And what's happening is I am asking Kiro, the new IDE that Amazon launched and is kind of failing right now, to implement a plan where if I created a task in here, so for example, I'm just going to choose a dummy project here, change homepage to homepage background to solid green. And what it's going to do is going to create a plan. And if I close, or if I, for example, manually killed this task, you can see that it's now killed. I want to have the ability to relaunch this task. And that's what I'm having Kiro implement into my Claude Maestro application. Unfortunately, it is not doing the greatest job. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, I'll see how long I want to wait for this, but then I'm going to have Claude Code actually implement this feature for me as well and see if Claude Code can do a better job than what Kiro is doing right now, which is terrible. That's what I'm currently doing. Oh my gosh. This is actually not very fun to watch. I'm not having a lot of fun right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to see if I can cancel this and relaunch this task. Task execution aborted. Retry. Can I just click retry here, or is there like, do I need to clear the context? Is there even a way to clear? Clear? No. All right. There's nothing for me to do here, so I just click retry. Is there like a YOLO mode in Kiro? There's got to be a way for me to tell it to not continuously ask me about permissions if it can run specific commands. Yeah, honestly, Kiro is not even worth trying. I don't think it's worth trying. I mean, I just signed up for the wait list like literally a month ago when it launched, and then I recently got an invite, and then I'm just trying it out now, and I am sorely disillusioned and sad about it. If you're using Claude Code, then I think stick with Claude Code, or in fact any other agentic IDE like Windsurf or Cursor is already way better than this. I don't know why Amazon would go and do this. I just don't understand. They're not known for developer tools in the first place. I mean, the service AWS is. Oh, NeoVim. Oh, you know what? I really want to use NeoVim, and I actually use Vimmotion in Windsurf, but I've tried getting into NeoVim like so many times, literally 4 different times, and I just like, there's specific things that I like about VS Code, like the extension. For example, I use Supabase extension, and there's other extensions that I need as well. They are just not available in NeoVim, and that's kind of what made me stick to VS Code, like forks and things like that. Or else I would totally go for NeoVim. I really do like how fast it is, and I like the fact that I don't need to touch my mouse. I don't like touching the mouse, but yeah. I guess if I move to NeoVim, I can still use Claude Code. That still all works, which is really nice. But I don't know if NeoVim has like the autocomplete, like the GitHub Copilot, or like the tab functionality that Cursor has. I'm sure there's like a plugin or NeoVim extension for that, right? Oh, very nice. Dang. I guess I'm a vibe coder now. No. No AI. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Do you just not like using AI to code? Do you feel like it's not like to your liking, like whatever it outputs? Or is it just you prefer just to coding by hand? And I guess that's the most reliable. You know exactly what you want and you just do it, rather than hoping that the model outputs something, kind of reading your mind, outputting something along the lines that you had, that you were thinking of. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I do like using, the reason why I like using AI is just it allows me to move a lot faster. And I'm not a perfectionist or like super like specific about my code. I also self-taught myself, so I probably don't have enough like experience or knowledge to 100% know like what exactly is like the best looking code as well. So that's kind of where I come from anyway. And I also feel like, at least for me, AI allows me to move like really fast and not think too much about code, like not get bogged down by, when I was coding by hand, I used to refactor a lot. I just end up like, okay, I got to this point where the application's bloated and it just like it just feels so much. I end up like writing bad code over time. I don't think I'm just never happy about the code I write, I think. That's the issue. So then I thought to myself, well, if I'm never going to be happy about like the quality of code that I write, I might as well have AI write it, and then it's just it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yeah, it's definitely a learning process, and I feel like I'm always learning new things all the time, and that's kind of why I love coding, is because I'm always learning. Refactor is learning. That is true. That is really true. It just takes a long time sometimes, especially if you're refactoring like a large system. It's yeah, I feel like it takes me quite a while. Yeah, definitely I totally agree for learning. Like, yeah, it just takes longer. It just takes longer. For me, it just really does take longer. And I know I would get much better over time. It's just like at this point, what is the future of coding at this point? Like, what's your opinion about it? Is everyone going to be using AI? Is there going to be still people just manually coding? How I think about it is like, it's interesting because like this different level of abstraction, like we were at assembly, and then C++ compiles down to assembly, and then we have like higher level language, and the stack just keeps growing, and the level of abstraction just keeps building. And now we're at like, instead of programming language, now we're at like English. I'm just like, okay, how far are we going? How far up are we going here? Yeah, so it's an interesting time to be a developer right now. Though I'm positive about the future of coding. It's really interesting. I just find it all interesting. I find all the different areas of coding super interesting, and where the future is going to lead is going to be exciting though. I think it's gonna be a lot more accessible to everyone. Not that everyone's gonna be amazing at coding, and not everyone's gonna know what AI actually writes, which is kind of scary, depending on what kind of application they're building. Okay, this is like not working at all. I am done. Kiro is dead to me. Uninstall. I'm so done with this. I am going back to Windsurf. The only reason why I'm using Windsurf, by the way, is because I get the autocomplete, the auto tab functionality for free. That's the only reason why. And I don't pay for Windsurf or Cursor. I just prefer Cloud Code. Though I did recently downgrade my Cloud Code subscription from $200 to $100 because I tested out OpenAI Codex, the new update they released with the IDE extension. And this is actually really interesting because you can queue up multiple tasks on the cloud, which this is like my favorite way of working, is basically having AI agent do like a whole task for me on the side while I focus on like something else. And then once I'm done with my current task, I pick out a task that the agent has completed and use that as a starting point for me to build on top of. That's kind of like my workflow, and it's been really fun doing that. It just, yeah. And the one thing I don't like about OpenAI Codex is that it doesn't allow me, or at least maybe I'm not understanding 100% correctly, but it doesn't allow me to plan before I actually execute. Unlike the Claude Maestro application that I've been working here, it allows me to plan first before I actually execute the task. So if I, for example, I'm gonna ask it again to change home page background to solid green. You know, I would never use this. Oh, hi, I've seen you before. Thank you for coming again. Anyway, I'm just showing off this Claude Maestro application and my workflow. Basically, if I use this, and I can queue up multiple plans, this is how I like to work. And I'll just, once it's done, I can just review the plan right in here, edit the plan in here, and then execute the task. And then I can go back to Windsurf or whatever I'm working on. And yeah, it would just keep my workflow moving. At this point, I'm a very bad person when it comes to multitasking. So I try my best to keep my focus on one thing at a time. I just, at least for coding, I just hate context switching. It really sucks. It really hurts my brain. I just, just not that kind of person. I really am not that kind of person. Okay, anyway, what I'm gonna do, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do two different things. Where's Kiro? Where is Kiro? Is Kiro done? I'm going to close Kiro because Kiro is dead to me. Goodbye, Kiro. That was a short-lived thing. I am going to revert all these changes that it has made. And discard changes, move to trash. Goodbye. And what I'm going to do is I am going to actually show you guys the Cloud Code workflow that I've been using. It's kind of interesting, actually. It's going to be a /plan, create plan. And I'm going to have it create a plan for the ability to relaunch kill task. This is the exact same prompt that I'm giving it, that I gave to Kiro, and we'll see how much better Claude Code is going to do with this. Oh my gosh, I need to burp. Ability to relaunch kill tasks. Make sure to take care of all edge cases, especially when killing tasks are killed. My burps are kind of silent. I don't know, burping on stream, you know, I'm just not that confident in myself just yet. Especially when tasks are, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. In coding and planning phase. Okay, ultra think. I always add ultra think at the end. I don't know what it needs to ultra think about, but ultra think. Wait, no, I don't need to add ultra think. The reason I'm using this create plan command is because I already have ultra think in here. Wait, I do have ultra. No, wait, no way. Are you serious? I thought I added ultra think in here. Wait. Create a detailed plan for user prompt. Make sure to analyze all relevant code meticulously and think hard. Oh, I use think hard. I use think hard instead of ultra think in here. I mean, it both does the same thing pretty much. But the best way to implement the plan, ensuring that it is the most optimized and efficient implementation. Make sure you are not writing duplicate code by checking if certain functionality or types already exists in the code base before adding it to the plan. Yeah, this is why I use my plan, my create plan command, Claude Code command. And then after this, I can pass my plan direct. I will check the plan and pass it into my create agent command. And this create agent is going to use the agent creator. I did a video about this on my YouTube channel. Feel free to check that out. But basically what it's going to do is it's going to create agents based on the plan. It's going to create sub-agents based on the plan. So I don't need to manually create agents myself. I find that like if I just create agents on the fly, it becomes specific to my task, or you know, an expert at specific part of my task, and it just works really well for Claude Code, at least for this workflow. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys know a better way of working. I'd love to hear if you do, because I'm always open to new ideas. This is just kind of like me exploring different ways of working with sub-agents and planning and things like that. And that's one of the things I want to implement actually into Claude Maestro is auto agent creation for the plan. Actually, I need to write that down in my to-do list. Thank you for reminding me. Create agents. Add a create sub-agent. No, wait, what? Add create sub-agent phase to Claude Maestro. Okay. Great, it has created the plan for me, and notice that it arrives in the spec. Where did you put this? Oh, yes. Whoops, I forgot to turn on auto accept edits. Okay, implement ability to relaunch tasks that have been killed, preserve their context and state. Yeah, this looks good. This feature is particularly important for tasks in planning and coding phase. Interrupted, problem statement. Okay, this looks good. Objective, allow users to relaunch kill tasks from the last state, preserve, restore task. Wait, how long is this? Okay, 300 lines, that's not terrible. Handle edge cases, work tree management. Ooh, see, I didn't even need to ask it to do this. I didn't even need to prompt it so that it looks at the work tree management. With Kiro, I had to do that, which is really sad. Provide clear UI feedback during relaunch process. Ensure proper cleanup Okay. Technical analysis. Task have plan, code review phase. Yep. All messages. Group ID parallel task, cost time information. And I'm just gonna review this really quickly. I'd rather not YOLO this because I actually want to implement this feature right now. Okay, add relaunch capabilities to task management store. Relaunch task, can relaunch task, relaunch task. Interesting. Okay. Relaunch logic, relaunch task. Is this, where is this going to be added to? This is going to be added to the Zustand store. Okay. I see. Right. It looks like you are wanting a checkpoint functionality. Yeah, something along those lines. But it's a more simplified version of a checkpoint, I guess. Because, like, if I had to implement a checkpoint functionality, I think it's going to be a lot more complex than this. Which probably I'm going to add checkpoint functionality at some point. It's just like, I'm trying to get this done as fast as possible. I just don't want to spend too much time on this at this point. That's why I'm just having it relaunch, ability to relaunch a task, which is like, all right, sure, it takes a bit more time in terms of like restarting a task from scratch than having checkpoint. Which checkpoint, honestly, you know what, I'm gonna add that to my task list because checkpoint is a really great idea. Having ability to add checkpoints. Okay. Implement relaunch logic, relaunch. Okay. Keep message to maintain conversation history. If task was in coding. Okay, that's true. Is saving complete state of task. Yeah, you're right, because the task goes through planning, from user prompt to planning to coding, and then it's done. So if you cancel in the middle, if you killed the task in the middle of planning phase, then it will start from the user prompt. If it's killed in coding phase, then it's going to restart the task from the coding phase using the plan that has already been generated. You know what? I guess that is checkpoint. I thought, but how I think about checkpoint is if you killed it in the middle of like the coding phase, all the changes in the coding phase will still be there when you restart the task, and you just continue from there rather than, I guess that would be like a resume feature. Is that a resume feature or is that checkpoint? I don't know. But technically I can do that because what Claude Code does, it gives you a session ID and you can actually have it continue the session. So here if I think status, oops, did I just reveal any weird information? Oh yeah, here it is, session ID. So like Claude Code gives you a session ID that contains all what it has worked on previously. So technically, if I cancel a task, yeah, resume might, I think I'm gonna add that functionality, ability to resume task if killed. That's really interesting because I do get this session ID back from the Claude Code SDK. If I'm not mistaken, geez. Claude SDK Manager. Query. Process query. session options returns task ID. But what does this return? This returns session? Really? Wait, I'm just, okay. It's so hard for me to work at this level of Zoom. I'm still not used to it after streaming for 3 days so far. Okay. Trying to see where it's returning data session. But this is not, is this the session? Looking for the loop. This is the query. This is the Claude code from the SDK. The way I had to implement this using like, this is dynamically loaded, and this is the only way I figured out how to embed the Claude Code SDK into my Electron project and be able to ship the Electron project. It's just such a weird way to do it, because if I just normally import it, it'll break when I create a release build. There's gotta be an issue with how I'm creating my release build or something. I spent days on it and I couldn't figure it out. Just so interested, yeah, that's hard. But anyway, the session ID should be part of message. So in fact, if I go into Claude Code SDK, and then I believe query here returns SDK message. The SDK message returns, I believe, assistant message, session ID. Yeah, I do get the session ID back. Yeah. So every message that I get back from the Claude Code SDK does return a session ID, which I can use to resume the session if I wanted to. Great. Man, one of these days, I swear I'm gonna reveal some API secret or something by accident. It's gonna be a pain. Okay. What was I? Okay, I'm currently reviewing this relaunch task. This is looking good. This looks fine. Add relaunch button alongside archive button. Sure. No. Actually, what I'm going to do is, instead of the archive button, can you just have the relaunch button instead, since the menu drop down already contains archive option. Probably. I should have stated, correct me if I'm wrong, in here. Usually that works well. I'll update the plan to, oh gosh, what am I doing? Downloading update. Okay, it updated the plan. Okay, replace archive button with a relaunch button. Show loading state during relaunch process. Handle both single and group task relaunch. Okay, this looks good. In the component JSX, replace archive button with relaunch button. Yes, thank you very much. This looks good. Implement phase specific relaunch logic. Okay. Coding phase relaunch. Task work tree, verify work tree. If work tree doesn't exist, then recreate work tree. Yep, this makes sense. Update task. work tree exists, just update task status, relaunch with preserved context, handle edge cases, parallel task group, okay, relaunch parallel tasks. This is fine. Work tree verification. Okay. Recreate work tree. Why do we need recreate work tree when I'm sure I already have create work tree? Recreate work tree. Can you double check if we already have a create work tree function? If so, do we really need create work tree? Seems like it's doing the same thing. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Okay. Relaunch task. Add relaunch to task detail view. Add relaunch task. Update task header component. Okay, yeah. Is relaunching? Sure. Yep. Context preservation strategy, message preservation, plan preservation, work tree preservation. Yep. Error handling and recovery. Sure. Right. Okay. UX UI consideration. Oh my gosh. This is actually a lot. A relaunch button with refresh icon to kill task cards. Show loading state during relaunch process. Display system message in chat indicating relaunch. Maintain visual distinction for relaunch tasks. Do we really need that? Sure. User flow. User see kill task list. User hit relaunch button. System verifies. Task state. Resources. Task transition to ready state. User is redirected to appropriate face view. User can continue from anywhere they left, from where they left off. Makes sense. Confirmation dialog. Ooh. I don't want confirmation dialog. There's no need for that. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Recreation work tree was redundant. I updated the plan. Okay, use good work tree create function hook. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I don't. Is it possible? Could we remove the confirmation dialog? I hate confirmation dialogues. Doesn't need to be there if it's not truly destructive. Okay, could we remove the confirmation dialogues completely? Okay, testing scenarios. Yeah, that's the one thing I need to do is I need to write tests, but I don't have any tests right now. Should probably have tests. As in my native language, I'm originally from Thailand, but I've been living, I basically lived abroad for pretty much my whole life. I spent 10 years here in Thailand, 10 years in New Zealand, and then another 10 years in the US. Yeah. So I'm kind of all over the place. My accent's kind of like, people don't really know where my accent's from. So it's always interesting to hear what people think. But also when I'm nervous, like when I'm streaming, I like tend to trip up my words. Just I'm still not used to. That's the one thing I'm always like That's the reason why I'm streaming, is to get better at like public speaking. It's I don't it's some it's what do I call it? It's exposure therapy for me. I think that's what people would call it. Okay. Just throwing myself off the deep end like that is great. Test cases. Simple plan relaunch, code phase. And I'm also not really used to talking and coding at the same time. You know, like, I don't know, most of the time, maybe people talk to themselves when they code, but I certainly don't. I think in my head. I just like, I'm silent the whole time when I code. But now I'm like, at least now I'm not doing too much like typing out. If I'm typing out something, I can't really talk when I'm typing. It's actually really hard for me. Like, it's multitasking, parallel processing in my brain is not great. Updated, the plan follows direction. Okay, this is fine. Archive tasks, test cases, migration compatibility, no database migration, backward compatibility with existing killed tasks. Okay, you know what? I don't need to worry about migration. Remove migration and compatibility. I know I can just delete this, but I don't know if there's anything else in this plan that reference this portion, so that's why I'm using Cloud Code to remove this section, as we don't need to worry about previous tasks. My English is so bad when I talk to AI. I just know it understands me. Okay. Did it just remove that? It removed it already. Nice. Okay. Security consideration, verify user has permissions for worktree operation, sanitize any preserved user input before re-execution, prevent relaunch of tasks with security violation, audit log. Okay. Nope, I don't need that. Future enhancements, nope. I like it unsafe. Okay. This is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to commit the plan, added, relaunch. I'm just going to double check that I'm in the right branch. Because I don't like working in my main branch, as if I commit the changes, then it's going to go live immediately. Okay, I am on a dev branch. I'm okay. Added, killed task relaunch plan. Cool. Okay, now time to create agent. I'm gonna clear my context first though. Clear / create agent. This 190. There we go. I think the longest part of this was me actually having to review this plan. Then Cloud Code actually writing the plan and generating stuff for me. And now Cloud Code is going to go ahead and create multiple different agents to work on this plan for me. The reason why I don't just bundle everything into, automate this whole thing into one command, is because I find create plan is like a step that I need to review, and then create agent, and then implementing. I also need to review that the agent that it created is actually the ones that would work for my specific tasks. All right, creating implementation agent, looking tasks. Let's see if it's, oh yeah, I need to delete my previous agents. Okay. That's the one thing I need to add. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna write that down too for the agent tasks. Where is agent. Okay, add, okay. Make sure that when tasks is done, implementation agents are deleted. Okay, that's the one thing that I need to do is basically all my agents in this folder, except for this agent creator, is a throwaway agent. It's only specific for the one task that I'm working on. Though it can be reused, I just rather have it recreate agent again. Like this UI engineer. Implement React UI components with TypeScript animations and user interactions. Very well. Nice. Best practices. Very cool. Provider engineer. Wow, this is extremely specific. Implement React context providers and IPC communication logic for Electron applications. That's a extremely specific type of engineer. Worktree. Okay, now it's getting a little weird. Manages worktree operations during creation, verification, and cleanup. Worktree manager is almost basically a class. This is one thing I notice is that sometimes it becomes like a plan. My agent becomes a plan. I don't want my agents to become a plan. Let's see what it said. The purpose is, you are a specialized Git worktree management engineer focused on handling worktree operations for parallel task execution. You excel at implementing worktree verification, creation, cleanup, and recovery mechanism using Git commands and file system operations. Okay. Please restart Cloud Code for the new agents to be recognized and available for use. See, this is one of the warnings I also had in my create agent. I believe in my create agent command is I need to remind myself that when new agents are created, I need to restart Cloud Code. That's the one thing I don't like about agents is that it requires me to restart Cloud Code. Whatever. It's a minor setback. Okay. And now I can just go and implement the plan. So 190 is my plan. And the reason why I use a /implement command is because it makes sure that Cloud Code does analyze all the agents that's available to it before it actually implements the plan. So it can assign the task to each agent, respectively. What I find is sometimes if I just prompt it to implement the plan without actually saying explicitly specifying that, hey, you need to actually look at all this available subagent, it just doesn't use the subagent. See, now it's now going to actually start up the subagents, and some of them can be worked in parallel as well, which is a nice touch. So here, store engineers being launched. UI engineers launched. So these two are now working in parallel, which is great. Okay, provider engineers launched as well. So now 3 of them is working in parallel. I guess it determines, because what I had it do is going to determine which tasks can be worked in parallel. It's gonna go ahead and have these sub-agents immediately work on them in parallel, which technically should speed up the process. This stream was supposed to be about Kiro, and now it's about Cloud Code again. Wow, Kiro was such a disappointment. I can't believe how terrible it ended up. It didn't even implement one task for me. Right? And I spent like an hour and a half on it. Yikes. UI engineer, provider engineer. Okay, this looks promising, but that's a lot of files. No, it's not that many files. It's only 4 files it's modified and 2 files created so far. Use task can relaunch. Sure. Use task relaunch. Huh? What? Oh, I see. You know, it should really just combine these two into one hook. Like if it can't be relaunched, just return it can't be relaunched. But I guess this is specifically for relaunching. It doesn't take in a task ID though. Hook that provides task relaunch functionality, object containing relaunch methods. Oh, I see. Also, Cloud Code, you've been using use callback a lot lately, and I'm using React compiler, so I don't really need you to add use callbacks for me at this point. Okay. Let me see. I do want to try. I want to see what other people are saying about Kiro. Oh, is it supposed to be a solution for vibe coders? Is that what Kiro's target audience is for? It needs to be more interesting guardrails. But it's not even using the latest model. It doesn't even have access to Opus 4.1. Last time, well, some people actually like it. Interestingly enough. There's zero chance that this product will give me Sonnet Opus less expensive or better performing than Anthropic, therefore zero interest. Lol. That's hilarious. At least Gemini CLI could work at some point with something different. You know what? I've been meaning to try out Gemini CLI. I gotta try it at some point. Maybe this weekend. I think Gemini CLI is actually pretty good. And it's like free? No? Or either free or there's actually pricing. Cost free required, okay. 1,000 model requests daily. That's quite a lot. 60 requests per minute. That's still a lot. Gemini 2.5 model Pro. Okay, that's actually crazy a lot. Yeah, I heard Gemini CLI pricing was kind of ridiculous. I wish they would just have a page for actually knowing how much is this. Okay. Gemini CLI. Open source. Yeah, okay. Quick install. Preview. Stable nightly. Key features. information, advanced capabilities. There's no agents, right? I don't think there's agents. No, there's definitely no agents here. No agents. Oh well, there's no agents here. Going back to windsurf, let's see where we're at here. Excellent, all 3 agents have completed the work. It's double checking the to-do list. So we're almost done with the implementation here, I'm guessing. I'm sure there's going to be something wrong with it, and I'm going to have to fix it all again. Wow. Almost there. Almost there. Why is there no... okay. Maybe it's Google model pricing. Gemini pricing? How to sign up for? Is Gemini Code Assist standard $22 required for paid use of Gemini CLI? Why signing up for Gemini Code Assist is making sign into all? Okay, this is like, this is, oh, here it is. Is this it? That was the page I was on. Oh, Google. Google. You're not making this easy for me at all. Pricing? Okay, you know what? I don't even care. This is why I don't do the whole Google Gemini thing, because it's so hard to find the pricing. I don't get why they obscure the pricing that much. Should just be a single Google search, but no, have to go into different pages, and I can't be bothered doing that right now. So I'm in the middle of this. All right, it's finished implementation. Let's go ahead and check this out. First, I need to quit that. All right, bun run dev here. Electron, bun run dev here as well. Okay. Great. Killed. All right. So then if I click relaunch task, well, this is kind of still broken. Task relaunch after being killed. Okay. I mean, I guess the UI kind of works, but let me just check what it's doing here. Use Git work tree, Cloud Code provider, relaunch task. When tasks are relaunched, it should automatically go into running status. If task was killed during planning phase, it should rerun the planning phase using the original user prompt. If task was killed during coding phase, it should re-implement the plan. Okay. Preserve context. True. Why is this being used? Relaunch task. Pretty sure this is like the main thing. Relaunch queue task from its last state. Task header, kill task card. Okay. Relaunch task. It gives it a task ID. So then basically everything is in here that I need to make sure it's fixed. Okay, task is not found. Can relaunch task. Task fades if phase specific. Relaunch logic. Okay, so if it's in the code phase, if it was killed during code phase, then it's going to, okay, but then what about the plan phase though? What happened if it's relaunched during the plan phase? Let me take a look at the changes. Use Cloud Code hook relaunch task. That's fine. Yeah, that's just UI stuff. And then task management store. I don't like that this is here. Relaunch task. Relaunch a killed task from its last state. Update task status to ready and clear end time. If tasks, okay, this is the problem. This is the problem right here. We should not have these two in the task management store, since this doesn't actually do anything. It just updates the state, which can be done using all these, probably update task here. Yeah, it should be using update task. And then can relaunch task should not be here at all. Should be in a hook. Dang it. That kind of annoying. Let's see. Okay. When a task is relaunched, it now automatically starts executing planning phase. Regenerate the plan. Okay, coding. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see what it's changed. Relaunch task. So get task by ID, original command, original root. Okay, task phase code. Okay. If task phase is code, great. And then if not success, specific phase, but then why is auto execute based on phase? Oh gosh, this is it doing it twice? Relaunching plan. Task phase equal code, re-execute plan, auto execute based on phase. Okay. But then didn't we just execute the code phase above? Regenerating plan, status running, generate plan. Yes. But then what is this? For code phase verify. Oh, I see. This is for work tree creation. Makes sense. And then down here is where, again, it does the work tree. Okay, I'm just going to have Claude Code check this relaunch function. Double check relaunch task. Make sure that it does not have a duplicate functionality. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I see that the code phase handling of the code phase is implemented twice in this function. Okay. Let's see if this works. Fix duplicated. Okay, work tree handling for code phase was implemented twice. Correct. I consolidated work tree logic into a single section that runs before auto execution logic. Okay, single work tree handling cleaner. Right, let's take a look at this. Code phase. Okay, all the work tree handling is done here, though. Why? Could we move the work tree handling logic down to just before execute plan inside the relaunch task function? Interesting. Okay, this function is looking a lot better. So if the task's in plan phase, or it's going to relaunch the plan phase, it's going to regenerate the plan, which is awesome. And then if it's in code phase, it's going to execute the plan. It's going to verify if worktree exists. Verify worktree. Okay, it's gonna verify worktree, and then it's gonna, if the worktree is not valid, it's gonna recreate the worktree. Here should be task dot parallel instances. IDs. IDs length 0. Okay. I guess we're not. So then this execute plan must be in here. Class ID, one sec. Okay. So this execute plan, I'm just gonna double check how this is being used again. Okay, plan complete task card, execute plan, task IDs. Okay, so I do need to pass the task IDs. Parallel instances, number of parallel instances to launch when executing this queued task. You know what? It's just gonna be 1. I'm just gonna get this to work for now, and then I'll handle parallel instances in a moment. Okay, execute the plan. Didn't we just execute the plan earlier? Nope, I guess that's the only place. Bypass permission. And that's it. That should theoretically work. Okay, let's try this out. I'm gonna rerun the server. Oops. There we go. Come here, delete, change homepage to solid green background, something easy. Go into here, okay, kill the thing, relaunch task. Oh, it's actually working. Wow. Not bad. Okay, let's see. And then I'll try canceling in the middle of the coding phase as well. In here. All right. Okay, this is looking great. Now I can execute the plan. It's going to start by creating the work tree. Just going to write the code. I'm going to stop it. Okay, so one task is now killed. I'm going to relaunch the task. Okay, so the text here is not changing to coding, so let me just double check why that is happening. But at least the relaunch logic is working. So that's actually really good. Also, I feel like the padding for this needs to be a bit more. I guess it's the same. Nice. Okay. Not bad. This is really not bad. I thought it wouldn't work. But Claude Code really came through. Okay. But there's also errors. In fact, it's done working, but it's still giving me loading text. So that's something I need to work on and fix. I'm just gonna write that down. Okay. Right. Okay, cool. I think this is a good stopping point, and I actually need to go eat lunch. I'll probably stream again later today. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.